Hey, stop. You just bought a home, and I don't want you to make this huge mistake. Before you start removing floors, carpet, and appliances from your house, you need to watch this video. A lot of new homeowners that just bought their homes are making these costly mistakes that leads them into spending thousands of dollars and just to regret it down the road. Today, I'm going to expose the worst home upgrades recent homeowners have made just months or days after they just bought their homes. So let's dive right in. I'm gonna break it down in different sections. So let's start with the outdoor area. Outdoor kitchen seems to be something that a lot of people dream of, especially wanted to spend a lot of money on those Viking stove or the eggs grills that want to put all together. But what they don't know is they're not going to be able to enjoy these upgrades for a long period of time. For example, here in the state of Maryland, in the northeast coast of the United States, it's only warm from Memorial Day all the way to Labor Day. And then after that, it gets very cold, especially in the months of December, January, February, March, and April. It gets very cold. So a lot of people don't enjoy these, but they ended up putting thousands of dollars into these things that sometimes don't generate a good return on investment. On average, homeowners spend as little as $7,000 as high as $26,000 to create these lovely spaces. But now, in some cases, have heard of some homeowners that have been able to spend up to $50,000 just in building a kitchen in the backyard with a grilling area and a nice seating area. So you might want to think twice before you spend that kind of money on something like this. I'm not saying don't do it. All I'm just saying is you may not get your money back if you are doing it, spend a dollar in and get $2 back. Now, the very next thing is swimming pools. A lot of people love to have swimming pools. And listen, again, going to the previous example, you're only going to use it for a couple months. I have had so many clients very excited. They bought their home with a swimming pool, but 2 or 3 years later, they kind of regret it because the maintenance costs. Let's be honest, right? You're gonna open your pool before around springtime. You have to have it prepared. You have to maybe pay a company to come and open it properly for you. Then all the chemical and the cost of cleaning. Whether you want to do it yourself or pay for a company, and one is your time, and the other one is time plus money of somebody else's. And then you have to close it when the winter arrives. That's also having to do maintenance to the equipment if you have a pump, a heater, and all those things. So it is cost you a lot of money. Now, if you want to build a new pool in a house or expand or modify your current pool, I have some interesting numbers for you. Typical pool around this area, and this depends of many factors, can start between $60 and $80,000 and can go as high as $150,000 for a pool. I guarantee you, when the time comes for you to sell a house, the next home buyer is not going to fall in love with your pool or will be the main reason why they're going to buy that house. I can tell you that right now based on my experience. So don't be fooled. Don't spend a lot of money on a swimming pool that may not give you a good return on investment. Plus, some people say that your insurance also goes higher for liability purposes. Think about it. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Large playground equipments. I'm talking the huge playground equipments that you can buy at places like Lowe's, Home Depot, Costco, that it requires several people to put together that your kids are going to use. They're going to enjoy it, but they're going to grow up, and that's what's going to happen with the equipment. It's just going to sit out there on the cold winter days or the very hot, humid summer days of the Northeast coast, and your kids are not going to enjoy it. So think about that. If you want to do something on a smaller scale that you can very easily dismantle and remove it, sell it, give it away versus the huge equipment. And of course, the over the top landscaping, that is insane. So much people want to spend money on pavers that cost a lot of money, fire pits that are super expensive. Listen, you will enjoy it. If you're going to do it with a purpose, you're going to enjoy it, do it. But if you are going to do it with the purpose that you want to enjoy it and get the money back, you're wasting a lot of your own hard earned equity. So be careful. So now let's move to the inside of a house for these trendy interior upgrades that sometimes they don't age that well. So let's talk about those. Freestanding bathtubs. They are rarely used. They're functional here and there. Think about if you want to do something like that. Maybe you want to have just like a freestanding shower that is more functional than just the bathtub. I'm just my thought, but it's not like a lot of people are looking for a house that it has a bathtub. Not anymore. The very next thing is open shelving in kitchens. I know you probably fell in love with the pioneer woman when she's doing the cooking for her cowboys on a Sunday morning and you love the setup. Listen, it doesn't work. It doesn't look good. Houses look like a little bit more of a mess. The dust that you collect on those things that are going to sitting on those shelves, it's not worth it. Do yourself a favor and do not use these open shelves. Plus, don't look good and they're expensive too. Overly customized spaces, converting big spaces and things that you're not going to need. I had a client many years ago that bought a townhouse in Germantown, Maryland, and the owner's bedroom was of decent size, but the she wanted it a lot more of a walk-in closet for her stuff. So she went ahead and converted one of the bedrooms into a walk-in closet. When the time came for her to sell the place, guess what? She had a lot of hard time selling it with a configuration of two bedrooms or upstairs and a huge walk-in closet. The same happens with big spaces like family rooms, rec rooms. Another case, I had a house in Highland, Maryland, that the seller went ahead and converted a family room and a living room into a ballroom. I mean, this was a big house. But who in the world was going to use a ballroom for 2 or 3 times a year that you throw in parties? Bold designs and trends that you want to follow. I know you want to have an accent wall. Sometimes you want to have these wainscotings, or you want to have all these like crazy crown molding that you think that's what you want. But reality is a lot of these things don't sit well with some new homeowners that don't see the value on the things you've done. So if you want to customize for yourself, do it. But then you want to put your house in a neutral place when the time comes to sell and get it like in bedrooms upstairs where the baby is going to be sleeping. Sometimes you want to have a nice accent wall that where you're going to put the initials of the baby or the name or some kind of theme like little animals, cars, whatever. You can do those things. But if you're going to sell the house, minimize the customization of this place so that other people can envision what they can do. You see, people nowadays don't have that vision as they used to be that they can do with these spaces. Plus, it costs time and it costs money. A lot of them just wanted to move in their stuff and be done and enjoy life. So be careful with that. Now, I'm just really curious to know when you bought your home recently or a couple years ago, did you fall in love with every aspect of the previous homeowner have done, or did you have to come and do some changes? And if you decided to customize those changes, I'd be curious to know. So drop it here in the comments, put me where are you located and what kind of changes you made to your house. Let's continue. Luxury appliances that do not justify the cost. There are people that buy townhomes, but they are going to put appliances that belong to mansions, to luxury homes that cost $2 million, but the townhouse only costs you $500,000. Do not over improve. Do not put a Viking in your house unless you are a chef and you can justify it, but do not over improve because it's going to cost you a lot of money. And believe me, the next home buyer is going to come to purchase your house may not even know what a Viking or a GE profile appliance is. So just be careful with that. Smart appliances with a short lifespan. Just because you went to Lowe's one day and the guy at Lowe's convinced you to buy these four-door fridge Samsung with the TV, Wi-Fi, and the smart things, do not engage in buying these type of things because you just don't know. I recently had a client that bought LG appliances, and what I have been told, although they're very good appliances, the cost of the parts and repairs is like a BMW or a Mercedes. So just be careful not to buy these things, and do not go and buy that LG washer and dryer in one because they're just brand new products and that can cost you a lot of money. Okay. Over the top laundry room upgrades, just putting like super luxurious things in your laundry room. It is not necessary. Go with a nice set of appliances that you know are going to be reliable, good brand that will be useful to your for yourself and your loved ones. Wine cellars and beverage stations. Wine enthusiasm, wine lovers. I know you wanted to have that. Do it in a moderate way, because if the next person that is going to buy your house had problems with drinking habits, they're not going to want to buy your house just because of that. So maybe you want to designate a space in the basement, your man cave, in this case here in the East Coast where the homes have basement, that you can have a space over there where can you put your little fridge, your wine cellar, a coffee machine that it's all embedded into the furniture, and it makes all these wonderful mochas and macchiatos and cappuccinos. That's okay, but a lot of people really don't even know how to use these things. So do yourself a favor, do not spend money on these crazy things. Now let's talk about room conversions that will hurt your resale value. Remember when I gave you that example of a house with 3 bedrooms upstairs, but you converted one of the bedrooms into a closet and you went ahead and have this beautiful furniture built around it for your closet, but the time comes to sell. Now you're only selling a house that has 2 bedrooms with one huge walk-in closet. Don't do that. Don't convert them into a full office. I'm not saying don't use it as you plan to use it. Just put it back the way it was when you're going to sell it. If you bought it as a 3 bedroom, do yourself a favor and sell it as a 3 bedroom. If you have a space in some other part of the house, in the basement and on the main level, family room, you can convert another portion of that for whatever purpose you want. Do it. But remember, always put it back the way it was so they can fulfill the purpose when it was built and designed. Garage conversions. Taking away a garage and making it into a living space, like an additional family room, playroom, rec room, office, it can also hurt you a lot because some people may need to have that garage, especially here in the Northeast portion when we get snow and rain. People really want to have that space. So just have the space the way it was designed. Oversized master suites. Oh my gosh, that's a huge one. A lot of people will sacrifice. I've seen these huge master bedrooms where they have a sitting room, a reading room, a little coffee machine, and tea area. That's a lot. Don't go to that extension because you're going to hurt yourself, and it's going to cost you money to modify it for the use that you intend to do it for the period of time you're going to live there. And it's also going to cost you money if you want to put it back the way it was. So just be careful with that. Ignoring functionality of the intention of the space. You see, a lot of people make the mistake to not to moving into a property as soon as they buy it. They continue to rent because they're making modifications. But sometimes it's a good thing to move into the property as soon as you can, because then you will really understand what's going on with the property. You maybe will find issues with the house that you didn't think it will exist. But the only way for you to know about these issues is when you live inside the property. So give yourself some time. Now, granted, if you want to put new flooring, new carpet, paint the whole house, redo the kitchen and the bathrooms, and if you want to do that before you move in, maybe it's a good idea. You don't want to have dusty furniture or your kids that may suffer from allergies having to smell all these things from the chemicals that are being applied to the property or the walls or the floors. You don't want that. But you really want to give yourself enough time before you want to continue to spend money into the property, because then maybe other priorities will arise as you live in the property, and you may need to make a sacrifice to certain things. That's just my opinion based on previous experiences. Ignoring storage needs is also a big issue. A lot of us collect things that we sometimes don't even need. When people are starting to downsize, one of the biggest issues they have is they have more than what they need. So don't ignore storage places in your house that you may need. Is very important. Overlooking places that with high traffic, right, where you are maybe doing impractical changes. Just make sure that if you have little kids, then they're going to be maybe spilling things from they're going to move into the house from toddler and up. Maybe you want to consider different kind of flooring situation for your main level, for the bedrooms, for the basement, for the kitchen, for the family room, because there's going to be a mess, right? Or if you're going to have a lot of you love to entertain, maybe you want to just think about engineer flooring versus hardwood floors, or hardwood floors, whatever you want. But just don't ignore those little things, because carpet, as good as nice as it is and cozy and nice, I think it's a little bit like out of style right now, and not a lot of people are thinking about putting carpet anymore. So Look into your options. Go and spend a whole day at Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever store you have nearby, and just look at the different options and think what looks good. And sometimes you can even buy little samples of these things and bring it home and play with it. So that way you can really have an understanding what you want to do. And now with social with AI, it's very also easy to give ChatGPT a picture of an area and have ChatGPT transform that area for you. So you can do a lot of those things. Over personalizing your home is another big problem. I think that a lot of people do that, and that's just as I said. Don't do that. And if you're gonna do it, put it back the way it was before. Believe me, 20 something years of doing this, I I'm telling you the truth. Underestimating cost and issues with contractors. That's a big one. That's a lot. This is a lot of people. Number one, when you are doing renovations, you want to give yourself an additional 20% of your budget to unforeseen things. So if you have a budget of $100,000, just add another 20% because a lot of unforeseen things are going to come in place. Let me give you an example. You know that you're going to buy this house, and this house is going to probably need to replace a water heater that is in the basement. Well, upon inspection of the water heater and removal, it turns out that the new water heater doesn't fit some of the piping that is already installed, and you may need to upgrade some of the piping over there. So now a plumber has to spend more time making those things fit into the old piping into with the new water heater. So a lot of these things that sometimes just people don't think about it. Another good example will be replacing a roof. You didn't think that you only going to need to replace the roof, but it turns out this roof on this house had maybe two layers, and the sheeting is already in bad shape. So you now have to replace all the wood behind the roof, the shingles. So a lot of these things are stuff that you have to really think well and always have that additional 20%. If you don't use it, great, just save it. But if you ended up coming with surprises, there you go. And the best time to do a lot of this work is when you have it all open. Things are open. So then you can do the work. Hiring the wrong contractor, it's a big problem. Just because your next door neighbor or your coworker told you he or she had a great experience with this contractor doesn't mean that you're going to have the same. Research this person, find out if they're licensed, find out if they're insured, find out if they can give you a portfolio of things they have done work before. So that way you can really compare if they have experience with the project that you're going to do. Find out what are their payment clauses. What happens if they don't deliver in a timely manner? What are your options? How are you going to be paying this person? I had somebody that got a contractor that he says, well, if you pay me cash, let's say the cost is going to be $10,000, but if you pay me with a credit card or check, I'm going to charge you $11,000. I said, I don't know what is that. I mean, I've never heard of something like that. Either it's 10 or it's 11, but it cannot be one or the other. So you got to think about these things ahead of time. Interview two or three contractors. Just make sure they have the experience to take the type of job that you want to give them. Assuming all the upgrades will add value, it's a huge mistake. Do not think that way. Not every single upgrade will add value to your home. Certain upgrades do not add any value. It's a preference for you, it's comfortable for you, and it makes your life a lot easier, but doesn't mean they will add any value to your property. Yeah, I'm Robert Garcia, and I'm here to guide you through this crazy real estate market with up and downs like a roller coaster. It doesn't matter if you're already are in the process of buying a house. My job is to help you make the right decisions for your property. If you find any value in these type of videos and you want to give it a thumbs up, I will really appreciate that. If you want to subscribe, that definitely helps me a lot to continue to produce this kind of content. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.